Tonight is a senator who sits on the Senate Homeland Security Committee, Democrat Andy Kim of New Jersey. And thank you, Senator, for being here. When you saw the president's post tonight, did it surprise you endorsing this deal?
No, it didn't surprise me because the president knows that the American people are against what he's doing in Minnesota and all over this country right now. I mean, the American people are furious. And it's that pressure that is getting to him. And that's why I just please continue to urge the American people, stay focused on this, stay engaged, pay attention and be vocal about it, because this is certainly probably the time that I've seen the president most on his heels, and he's really feeling the pressure, and it needs to stay sustained on him until we can get the real changes we need.
So when it comes to getting those real changes that you want, I mean, there's a list of demands. It includes having ICE agents not be able to wear masks, body cameras being required, a code of conduct. I do think there's a question tonight of whether or not any of that will be a long-term agreement that you guys are going to come to. What's your confidence level in that?
Well, that's exactly what the American people are demanding right now. You know, I talked with some of my mayors today that came by the Capitol, and they were telling me about how our constituents are terrified right now about what's happening. You know, I talked to some leaders in New Jersey, the community leaders, that are telling me they're now carrying their passports around now because they're terrified about what would happen if they were stopped. So this has to happen. I mean, this is something that, you know, it needs to be demanded upon. You know, we cannot continue to have this effort where they're using, you know, administrative warrants, not judicial warrants, that they're going out and harassing American people, threatening them, that we see this kind of lawlessness and the lack of an independent investigation and just the blatant lack of accountability. So, you know, that is what we're pushing, not just for, you know, the going forward, but retroactive. We want this to be, to apply to all of that money that they put forward with the reconciliation bill that funded ICE with tens of millions of dollars, frankly, tens of millions of dollars that could have gone instead to keeping the Affordable Care Act going forward and helping millions of Americans pay for their health care.
Well, and as Senator Fetterman pointed out the other night, you know, even if the government had shut down tomorrow, ICE still has all of that funding. It's not like it would have shut down what ICE is doing. But when you listen to what Tom Homan is saying on the ground in Minneapolis, as we heard from him this morning, and then you hear the president tonight on the red carpet at this Melania premiere of the documentary, and he says, no, they're not pulling back at all. Which one are you listening to?
Well, look, we listen to Trump because, you know, he is the one that's calling the shots here. You know, him and Stephen Miller, and I've often said I believe Stephen Miller is the most dangerous person in this country, and he is the one that is driving so much of this extremism left and right. But look, I will also say Tom Homan has zero credibility with me, with the Senate, with the American people. I mean, this is someone, might I remind you, allegedly took $500,000 bribe in a kava bag. You know, this is somebody who has talked in the past in support of just these brutal tactics. So the idea that he is somehow going to be able to be a conciliatory voice in this measure is absolutely wrong. You know, we are still terrified about what's happening on the ground. There are still raids happening in Minnesota at such a frequent and dangerous rate. And I am worried about what's going to happen this weekend and going forward, which is why we need urgency. We shouldn't have a president going to the premiere of his wife's documentary while Americans are literally terrified in the street. We have Americans killed this week. You know, focus needs to be on protecting the American people, not just going and hanging out with our donors at the Kennedy Center.
I do think it was $50,000 that Tom Homan is accused of taking as part of that. But on Tom, you said you don't trust him. That's not really the vibe that we've been getting from Mayor Fry on the ground, or from even Governor Tim Walz. Do you think that they should give Tom Homan a chance in terms of whether or not seeing if there is ultimately a change made on the ground, or you think there's no chance of that?
Well, look, from my standpoint, again, if I misspoke, yes, you know, $50,000 in a kava bag that he was allegedly took.
Still a lot of money.
Again, still a lot of money, and certainly something that leaves me to be deeply distrusting. I mean, he is somebody that has worked for these companies like Geo Group that are now profiting off of detaining people all across our country. So yes, you know, he is somebody that has demonstrated that he supports these tactics. You know, he has supported and has been part of this effort that has created this culture of violence and cruelty within ICE, within CBP, within the Department of Homeland Security. And I will say, if he is now acting is, if he is now the one that is on the ground leading these efforts, he should come before Congress. He is now performing a duty that is responsible and accountable to Congress if he is planting Kristi Noem there in Minnesota. So he should come before us and be held accountable for what is happening.
Yeah, he said earlier he would be on the ground as long as it takes in Minneapolis. Obviously, we'll be watching closely to see what he does while he's there. Senator Kim, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.